can't even.
This is Ravenwind, and that was Rain. This is the Feather and Bone podcast. Two witches talking about everything witchy and nothing at all. And the reason she's so short with me is because apparently when I hit record, I accidentally also paused it at the same time. So we were halfway through the first page of this podcast, and it wasn't recording. And she's now upset.
Your face is red.
Well, because it's such a dumb mistake to make. I'm glad I realized it when I did.
She almost killed me in the car today.
I did. Okay, first of all, I'm looking fucking fabulous today. I feel girly today. My hair is... I've switched shampoos. It's still Aussie, but it's the volume one.
You're all put together today, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Road Trip, Alpaca My Bag.
With a picture of an alpaca.
So you're looking all girly and great,
Yeah.
and I'm looking kind of...
Yeah.
Eh.
I've got some cute little, like, crochet slippers that I was wearing, and... So we're driving along. I'm feeling full of myself, because I look great. And, I was like, oh crap, this is the turn we're supposed to take. And it's literally like a 90-degree angle turn. And there's a big semi behind us. And I'm like, I'll just whip it in there. No big deal.
Usually I'm the crazy driver.
She started grabbing onto door handles and because she had some Avon bags in her lap. She's like clutching the Avon bags for dear life. It was funny. Anyway, it's been one of those days. So this is the third part of our 3-part series on jinxes, hexes, and curses. So, as with the other podcasts, I'm going to tell you all of the websites that I used to find this information. I have copied and pasted and put it in a way that I think flows, well. So I don't know who said what, but this is my sources. These are my sources. blackwitchcoven.com.
It's on now, right?
I do. And the rest of the day, you're going to be up my ass. blackwitchcoven.com. Now, guys, you really need to go check out blackwitchcoven.com. I think we've used her in every single podcast on this so far in this series.
I don't know. I don't do any research.
But if you're wanting to learn more and interested in the quote unquote darker side of witchcraft, go check that website out. And then thoughtcatalog.com, jewishgiftplace.com, factsc.com, ranker.com, and thoughtcatalog.com. So those are the websites that I used. So, we've talked about like the, jinxing is the lower form of this quote unquote dark magic, followed by hexing and now, of course, cursing. Now, we have done some overlap. We've talked about cursing in pretty much every single podcast. And a lot of that has to do with just how, since we have this whole love and light threefold law thing, a lot of these, curses and hexes and things have all been lumped together. So it's hard to do research and kind of weed out, what is one and what is the other. In witchcraft, a curse is a specific, you have a specific adversary that you want to cause harm to. Now remember, curses, it's like the big bad, it's not little minor inconveniences. The big bad. It's not like little minor inconveniences. Like you're wanting to completely destroy this person, whether it's through, their life falling apart or them actually dying. Like you're wanting to cause very traumatic harm to the person. So when they say that you can curse people to lose money or material possessions or opportunities, like they're meaning complete financial ruin. Being homeless, you don't even have a car to live in. You're so financially ruined.
What's happening with this animal today?
She's just rubbing her face all over the carpet.
But why?
She's like, I got fleas. Is she rubbing her eye socket? Because she doesn't have an eye in that one. It's an empty socket. Anyway. You know, when you think about, okay, I'm going to curse someone to have, loss of money and material things, like you're meaning like as destitute as a destitute person can be. Feelings of anxiety, like an anxiety attack every time they open their eyes. We're not talking about like just the normal anxiety that someone may live with. Illnesses and even death, are some of the things that you can curse against somebody.
I've done that.
Here's a point that that one of these websites made that I really agreed with. And it says that, the thing about curses is that most people who have been cursed will not know it. And that makes a lot of sense. If I was going to curse you, I wouldn't necessarily want you to realize you've been cursed because then you can do something about it. You and I both know people that like every time, some little thing goes wrong in their life, they're like, I've been cursed. And it's like, no,
you're an idiot.
You've made horrible life decisions over and over again.
Yeah.
That's not being cursed. That's just being a moron.
And you know who we're talking about.
I do.
Don't say it out loud.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you talking, was that directed at the audience?
No, that was directed at you.
Okay, yeah. We know a couple people. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's definitely like that. But there are some ways that you might be kind of clued into the fact that you may have been cursed. You might be able to tell if suddenly it seems like everything is going wrong in your life. Like everything. You can't catch a break, Now, here's the thing. Okay, I have a good example of this. Until I bought my new car, constantly had vehicle problems. Now, if I was one of those people that thought I was being cursed, I was like, oh, someone's cursing me to have vehicle problems. No, I couldn't afford to buy anything nice. And I was putting a lot of wear and tear on it because I drove all over West Virginia for my job. So, you have to look at like what's causing these problems,
It was a worn out shitty car.
It was a worn out shitty car and that I had to replace with another worn out shitty car because financially I couldn't have anything nice.
And then the new worn out shitty car had a mystery smell.
Yeah. Yep. I've had some shitty cars. We all have. But you have to look at when you look at what's going wrong in your life, you have to decide, okay, is there a mundane reason for this? Now, if I bought my brand new, no one had ever drove it but me car and started having problems, then I might be like, okay, now I need to look. But that wasn't the case. It's like because you and I both, we have clients even that it's like they let all kinds of people into their home and into their life because they're like, I want to help people.
Oh, that's the dumbest shit.
And you're helping yourself into a hole and you're like, I must be cursed because all this, I keep having things stolen from me and like, no, you're allowing drug addicts into your home.
Yeah.
That's why things are being stolen from you. It's not that you're cursed. You're allowing the wrong people into your life. So, if everything starts going wrong, try to find a mundane reason first before you jump right to you've been cursed.
Well, and another thing people need to remember, we just have bad days sometimes.
Yeah.
That's part of being a human.
Yeah. Yeah. I know of someone, no, I won't get it because I don't know if she listens or not and I don't want to air her business. I would actually think she was cursed. I'll tell you about her later.
I'll think I could be having the worst day ever and it's because I'm tired. I need a nap. You talk to me enough to know I'll take a nap and come back. I'm a completely different human.
Or you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to have lots of sleep or I'm useless.
You need like at least 20 hours a day.
Like last night you were like, you really need to go to bed.
Oh my gosh. You were like, you looked at a picture of a drying rack for dishes.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, that's a nice bed frame for bunk beds. I'm like, wait a minute. Go to bed. That's for drying your dishes. Another thing that you might notice is you might find symbols of witchcraft in or around your home. When we had previously recorded this, when I wasn't recording, you made the point that, like, we're witches. Of course, we're going to have symbols of witchcraft in our home. If you're already a witch, it's stuff that you or your partner did not leave around your home. You know, it's not, you can't, like, turn around and look at your own sigil and be like, someone cursed me. You wrote that. Unless you cursed yourself. You might find very personal items missing. If your plants or pets act weird or die, you might have been cursed. Or if you begin seeing someone cursing you in your dreams, that could be a sign that you're being cursed. I think
cursing someone's pet to die is going too far.
That's, yeah, like I will kill you.
Yeah, but not the pet.
But I'm going to leave your pet alone. Like, I'll adopt your pet after you die.
Like the pet didn't do anything.
Yeah, it can't help who owns it.
Unless the pet was a dingo and it ate your baby.
Yeah.
Then you could curse the dingo.
Well, and you know, and actually, now see, they said pet, not familiar. But if you actually had a familiar, we don't believe in familiars, but if you had an actual familiar, because their purpose was to take anything nasty that was sent your way, if your familiar suddenly dies, you know, then you might be cursed. A curse is the expression of a desire to cause harm to come to a particular person. Anyone can lay a curse on another person, but it is believed that the authority of the person who lays the curse increases the potency of the curse and makes it more dangerous. So basically what they're saying there is that, you can hire a witch to you know, curse for you or whatever. And I know a lot of the white light crowd will do that. They'll hire someone else to do the curse because then they don't have to worry about that threefold backlash, you know, or whatever.
That's so weak.
Isn't it? But, you know, and you may get results from doing that, but it's never going to be as strong or as effective if you do it yourself. You know,
like I've gotten the girls in our coven together to all curse with me.
With you, yeah. So that we can add to the energy of the curse.
And I write the curse myself.
And tell them what to say.
And
you always give them the option of not doing it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're not like, curse with me or I'll curse you. Like, you're like, hey, I'm doing some curse work. Want to help?
And everybody's like, yes!
Like, sure!
But they also know the background story.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the fact that they are women and they're mothers and they know that background story, they're going to be able to empathize and sympathize with what you're feeling and add to the curse. You know, but so yeah, of course you can pay someone else to do it. You can have someone else do it for you, but it's never going to be as powerful as if you do it yourself.
You know what I've noticed on the occasions that it's not, guys, don't think we're cursing like every full moon.
Like you've cursed the same person multiple times.
It's great. But on the occasions we have cursed, it's so funny how different our curses are. The way you write yours and the way I write mine.
Yeah.
Mine are ridiculous. Like mine's like, oh, your hair's going to fall out. You're going to go insane.
Yeah.
You're going to gain like 700 pounds and just all kinds of horrible stuff.
Yeah.
And yours is more shady. You're like...
It's slow.
It's like no one in your family is going to like you anymore.
Yeah.
And then all your coworkers are going to stop liking you. And you'll wake up one morning and realize you have no friends. And yours are so much different than mine.
Mine are like slow boil. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's that... I'm going to say, have you ever heard... I guarantee you've never heard this. Like that you can put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. Mm-hmm. But if you put it in cold water and then slowly bring it to a boil, it'll stay there and boil before it knows it's being boiled to death.
What's funny to me, though, is because you're a social worker.
Yeah.
You do your curses on people the same way you do social work at our job.
Yeah. You can't go in there gung-ho in social work and be like, I'm going to solve the biggest problems first. You start slow and you make tiny little adjustments to their lives that lead to the bigger, you know, solutions.
Me, I'm like, your titties will explode.
Yeah. Yeah. And mine are very, like, I'm slowly boiling a frog is what I'm doing when I do curse work.
I don't get satisfaction from that. I like the...
See, I like to think that someone, like, you want instant results.
Mm-hmm.
And I want someone to feel like as soon as they solve one problem, another one comes up, so they can never rest from it. You know, that we're just different in that way. And you know, and the whole like, you know, having someone else do it as opposed to doing it yourself, that works with all. That's all magic. That's not just curse work.
Yeah.
Anytime you find any spells online or anything like that, you should always tweak it and change it to make it your own. Because the more energy that you put into it, the better results you're going to have. In the various traditions of neo-pagan witchcraft, it is against the ethics and laws of the craft to lay curses. Most witches abide by this, thinking that...
What if you don't lay them? What if you stand them up?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Most witches abide by this, thinking that the curse will return on the curser in the same form as given, or 3 times, which is the threefold law. Of course, you know, you and I don't believe in that at all. But usually those who don't, that's why. Although there are those that believe that cursing, you know, against one's enemy would be justified. You know, there's that whole... we with the other group we were in, they would always say, and this isn't just to them. I've heard this I've heard this all over the place, where they're like, do no harm but take no shit. So they're saying like, don't harm anybody, but if someone's harming you, then you can do what you need to do to rectify that situation. So basically that's what they're saying. And my thing is, it's like, who's cursing just to willy-nilly curse anyway? Like, usually if you're cursing, they've done you wrong.
I'm generally pretty happy person.
Yeah.
If I'm mad enough to curse somebody, it's pretty...
Yeah. Yeah, things have gotten out of control.
Yeah.
I'm
usually so happy that it pisses you off.
Yeah, I'm like, can you fucking stop?
Stop being so goddamn happy.
Like, I'll turn on emo music just to try to, like, to find a balance between your happiness and my melancholy. Like,
especially around Christmas time.
Oh, my God. I can't even. Christmas wouldn't be so bad if it was just December. But it's not. It's not just Christmas starts on Halloween. And it's like, it's nonstop. And then they're like, oh, we're just going to carry on over to the new year.
I did.
We're going to do stuff in January, too.
You come over, I'd be playing Christmas music on my Echo and everything.
Yeah, or you'd have the Hallmark Channel going with, like, Mario Lopez finding the love of his life. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
I like Christmas.
Oh, I'm going to pause the podcast because she's getting a reading.
Sorry, guys.
So I know for you guys it was like literally a second between me saying I'm going to pause it and then...
I'm working on the network right now.
Yeah.
Doing readings. And
she went to take the chat and then the guy just disappeared, so he may come back. We don't know.
Oh, he will. He always does.
I'm trying to find where I was at. Here I was. We were talking about like how, most, pagans today don't because of Law 3, but there are witches from certain ethnic cultures such as the Italian, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, the Italian Striga and the Mexican Bruja, that also believe that cursing is justified.
Are those Italian witches you're talking about the ones you told me about years ago?
Holy fuck yes.
Okay.
Italian witches. Okay, guys. If you've never read or researched, what's that goddess's name?
Which one?
It's in the whole healing chant that we did with Asen's group. Aradia or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've never read about her, you need to read about her because holy fuck balls, them Italian witches, like we don't do like Christians where we, beg and plead for our gods to, provide for us or whatever. We work with, people that we don't believe in deity, you and I don't. But, those that do, they work with their deity to get the things that they want. Fucking Italian witches, they will straight up say, like, if my god or my goddess doesn't give me what I want, I will hunt them down and I will cast, spells against them. I mean, they are some hardcore fucking witches,
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're going to look up Italian witches, I would suggest you do it. So when we talk about curses, they said that you throw a curse at somebody is like the term, like you throw a curse. There's a variety of methods of doing this. Some of them by actual magical.
I was going to say overhand throw.
Overhand, underhand.
Overhand throw.
A spiral. I don't know.
Curveball.
Is spiral a thing? I'm not a sports person. I don't know. Obviously, some of them are done by magical rites and things like that. But some are spontaneous. In the broadest sense, wishing anyone ill is a form of cursing because it projects a thought form made of will and imagination upon a victim. So, just thinking, if you're in the moment, you're mad enough and you think, I wish she'd fucking die, that could actually be a curse if you were feeling it enough. But most of the time when you do that kind of ill wishing on people, it is very transitory in nature. It has little to no effect. Because you don't mean it, well, okay, like for example, like nowadays, like back when we were young and we were in school, when people were picking on us, we could look at someone and be like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't shut up. Everybody around knew that you wasn't really going to kill the person.
Weren't.
But nowadays, if your child does that in school, they'll get in trouble. Like they'll get in really big trouble. So a lot of times when we say things like, I just wish they die, we don't really, really mean it.
There's this thing, my sister, she's not in school anymore. She's graduated and she's full adult now. But when she was going through high school, all these kids would just look at each other and be like, go kill yourself.
Yeah.
I always thought, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I would never allow my children to pick that habit up.
Well, and there have been some cases where people have been tried and found guilty on with that kind of stuff.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Suicide's become a real big problem. And it's so funny because we talked about this a moment ago when we thought we were recording and we didn't. That the most powerful curse of all, of course, according to this paper, is the deathbed curse, for the dying are believed to project the most intensity. Deathbed curses are the most potent, since all the cursor's vital energy goes into the curse.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah, like, you're like, listen, I explained why when you thought you were recording and you wasn't.
Weren't?
You know what? I understand you're mad at me today. But I really need you to just let me talk.
You always talk.
Like, the way I want to talk. You're not my English teacher.
But it's embarrassing.
It's not for me. I don't care.
I can't. It eats me.
Oh, Jesus. I hope you get eaten by a bear. I just cursed you with thought form.
I could go for getting eaten today.
Oh, your husband's home. You better watch it. He'll be like, go sit in the car, Bev. You can also do generational curses. You can curse people in places that last for centuries.
And that's real.
Yeah.
That's very real.
Yeah. Well, and through my research, I actually am going to give some examples of everyday things that we know of today that are cursed. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to that in a second. Curses are both spoken and written and can be publicly proclaimed to maximize their effectiveness upon the victim.
I was going to say, I don't know if you mentioned it, but like you can see just like a poverty curse. Like that family for hundreds and hundreds of years, their land won't grow good crops. They're just poor.
Yeah.
And they can't pull out of it no matter what they do. It's almost like the land, like their family land is cursed.
Yeah.
It's real.
It happens. So, when you actually vocalize it can lend more credibility and more power to your curse as well. So you would look at someone and verbalize the curse to their face. And just the fact that now they're like, fuck, I was just cursed. Even if they don't believe in it, you've sown that seed in there. There he is. I'll pause it again.
We have returned.
And we were going a lot longer that time than we were the last time. Like, for you guys, it's just a second.
It was close to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That was one of my regular people that gets readings.
I fell asleep waiting.
She did.
Like, legit.
She really did.
Yeah. Anyway. Magical objects such as dolls or a poppet, which is a substitution for the victim, can be ritually cursed, burned, stabbed, or otherwise marked. A photograph of the victim works equally as well, as do nail clippings, bits of hair, and personal belongings.
Now, how the fuck are you supposed to get somebody's toenail clippings?
Well, I'm assuming if you're going to curse someone that's actually really close to you, would be the only way to do that. Unless you're crazy and you're going to dig through their trash.
That's just insane.
Well, you know. Many curses, however, are done with secret magical rituals. A widespread method of cursing is to pray against a victim, even to death. Because so it talked about, like, you know, you can write them, say them, whatever. An example of a formal written curse is a anathema. It's proclaimed by the Pope, which excommunicates a person from the church. So even
that's a curse?
Yeah. Even the Pope is cursing people.
My husband just went, yes!
The evil eye is a curse, both involuntary and deliberate. It causes the victim to suffer misfortune and perhaps even death. You can add pointing a finger or a bone. The finger! Or a bone, especially while uttering...
What?
Yeah.
Point a bone?
Well, because think about the bone that you got. Like the cat bone.
That's my good luck bone.
You can point that bone at somebody.
Hey, honey, you're my good luck bone. Did you see it? I'm glad you weren't looking.
But you can point with your finger while giving the evil eye, or a bone if you have one, while, you know, uttering your curse. And that's another way to do it. The evil eye is thought as a look given to inflict harm, suffering, or some form of bad luck on those that it's cast upon.
So what's the evil eye again?
It's when you look at someone, like what pops into my head, and you've said it too, is the monkey in Chris's closet on Family Guy.
Yeah.
How when he looks, he's looking like with that one eye and, you know, pointing or whatever. So you're looking at someone, and within your eyes, you're conveying all of the harm that you wish upon that person. Like if looks could kill. Like,
hey, if looks could kill,
a
certain female would have been dead years ago.
So, you know, when you think about, you know, the evil eye, think about that. You know, it's when you look at someone, you're like, I'd be dead right now if looks could kill. That's the evil eye. It's a look which clearly states that one intends for something bad to happen to the other person. You know, you focus, you know, and just put all of that into that look. The superstition of the evil eye holds that the malicious look is powerful enough to bring about actual disaster for the unfortunate person that receives the glare.
We should start walking around and give people dirty looks and do hand movements like off the magicians.
Oh, yeah.
And really freak people out.
Yeah. They would either think they would think we're doing American Sign Language because they don't know. They'd think that we're having seizures. Or that we were autistic and we were doing the hand flapping that autistic people do.
I've never witnessed that, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, my nephew Ryan, he's grown out of it, but when he was younger, he did a lot of hand movements, and what it is it's just like the expenditure of their energy. It comes out in their hand movements. Yeah. The earliest known evidence for belief in the evil eye goes back to ancient Greece and Rome. It was believed that the evil eye was the largest threat to anyone who had been praised too much or received admiration beyond what they truly deserved. The praised person would become so swollen with pride that he or she would bring about their own doom via the evil eye, which was believed to be able to cause physical and mental illness. In fact, any disease which did not have an immediate, obvious cause was thought to be caused by the evil eye back then. It was thought that the gods and goddesses were punishing those who had become too proud of their achievements and destroyed them with the power of the evil eye to restore them to the level of mere mortals. So...
Mere mortals.
Mere mortals. Like your ex-husband was going to die a mortal death.
He's such an idiot.
Like everyone dies a mortal death.
Whenever he'd be all serious.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've just always had this feeling that when I die, it's going to be a mortal death. And he got so mad at me because he was trying to be so serious about it. He said that. So he goes, I'm going to die a mortal death. I go, as opposed to...
What?
Like,
what? You can't die an immortal death.
Because then you wouldn't die.
Oh, God, he was an idiot.
He was, you know, I'm lucky my son is as awesome as he is.
Well, and I think that's because you pulled you and him out of that situation quick.
I did. I really did.
Like once you were like, oh, fuck.
Like
I have to get my kid out of this.
I gave up enlisting in the military because I would have had to, because when you have a kid, you have to sign the rights over to your kid to someone. While you're in basic training and stuff like that. And I knew deep down in my soul that was a terrible idea. Terrible. So I gave up, and I had really, 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 really wanted to go in the military. Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't, because I wouldn't know you right now. Plus, you would have had to take the peanut butter vaccination.
The what?
It's called the peanut butter vaccination. You can Google that shit right now. It's a vaccination that you get when you first go in, and it's this real thick sludge of medicine, and it'll kill any bacteria that's in your system. Any whatsoever. But it's so thick that it doesn't break down quickly, and you fucking feel like you've just been shot in your ass cheek. And it leaves a real big knot, and it doesn't go away immediately. And then you have to immediately go into your basic training with an injured ass cheek. My brother Kevin told me about it.
There's a antibiotic they give in the ER to people that they shoot in your ass real thick like that. I think it's called Rosethin, maybe.
I don't know the real name of it. They just say it looks like peanut butter because it's real thick.
I'd rather have an IV bag.
Man, you line up like in the military. Like literally, you line up and you drop your pants and stick your butt out, and they just boom, boom, boom right down the line. Like he said that the peanut butter shot.
I always called it glue.
He said the peanut butter shot and the gas chamber were two of the worst things that he had to endure to become a Marine. So gas chamber and an injection. Imagine.
Well, you gotta remember, it's a lot more. I know this is the wrong word, guys, and I apologize for using it, but they really pansified basic training a lot compared to how it used to be. Yeah. It's all let's talk about feelings.
I think someone who went through basic training would probably argue with you.
I'm not talking about anybody who went in like 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm talking about recent. And not the Marines though. The Marines.
Yeah. Kevin's a Marine.
But anyway, I'm just saying boot camp isn't like it was when my grandpa was in training for World War fucking II. Yeah.
We have video of Kevin coming out of the gas chamber, and the snot is like literally hanging down to his knees. And they're not allowed to touch their faces, so they're coming out with their arms straight out to the sides. Mm-hmm. And they have to recite like their social, their rank, their name, and all of that before they can go and rinse their face off.
Because when you hear the old veterans talk about how basic was, oh my God, I think that shit would be illegal now. Probably. Anyway, one more thing. If I had gone in the military, I would be retired by now. Mm-hmm. So you would know me.
Okay. You think you would have still been on the same life path and met your husband and ended up here and... Yeah. Okay. You would have met some military fuckboy.
Been there, done that.
True. Okay.
Learned the lesson twice.
So now we'll talk a little bit about ordinary objects that can become cursed. Okay.
Like a cooter.
That's an ordinary object?
Depends on who you're talking about. Not mine.
Jesus. We're talking about like actual items that you may own.
Like the bitch's car that kept messing up.
Yeah.
Because I was cursing it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, her car was cursed.
Yeah.
And literally, like, she would fix one problem and another one would come, and it was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
And it was a brand new car.
It was a brand new, like, spanking, no one had owned it but her. And didn't they even change cars and the new one started having problems too?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So here's some famous cursed objects that you may or may not have known about. The Hope Diamond.
What?
Yeah, the Hope Diamond is one of the most famous jewels in the world, with ownership's records dating back almost 4 centuries. This 45.52 carat diamond is believed to have originated in India. It is said that this diamond was originally embedded in the statue of the goddess, I'm going to say this wrong, Sita, Sita?
I have no idea.
The wife of the god Rama, Rama.
No clue.
The Hope Diamond formed one of her eyes in the idol. It was stolen, and the temple priest laid a curse on whoever might possess the missing stone. The story has fueled the belief that the misfortune befalls those who own the diamond. The fall of Madame, something Montespan during the reign of Louis of France. The beheading of Louis and Marie Antoinette, the rape and mutilation of the Princess de Lamballe during the French Revolution.
Wow.
I can't say these names. And many other instances are linked with the misfortune brought by the Hope Diamond. Even jewelers who may have handled the Hope Diamond were said to be ruined by it. For instance, the insanity and suicide of Jacques Collot, something.
Jacques Collot.
And the financial ruin of the jeweler Simon Frankel were linked to the stone. The Hope Diamond is currently in possession of the Smithsonian Museum, but surprisingly, owning the diamond has brought nothing but good luck for the nonprofit National Museum. And that's thought because, like, it's not really being owned. Like, it's being admired. And because, when it was in the idol, it was being admired and kind of, worshipped in that way. Mm-hmm. So now that it's in the Smithsonian, it's once again being admired. So that's why they're not having the bad luck. The next thing that you may or may not be aware of is the Terracotta Army of China.
Yes, I am aware.
Are you aware that it's cursed? Or just know of it?
I know of it.
Okay, well, it's cursed. In 1974, a team of 7 workers in Yang Village were...
I'm sorry, that is so cliche.
Yang Village.
I shouldn't laugh.
I was figuring, like, with all of the French names I butchered, when I got to the Chinese ones, I was just like, fuck my life.
And guys, what makes it more funny for the two of us is because my son is half Filipino.
Yeah.
And so...
He does not want to own his Asianness at all.
No. So naturally, like, whenever there's any Asian words or anything, we're like, hey.
Hey, Mikey, can you say this for us?
So it's more of an ongoing joke, giving him a hard time. And then when I heard her say that, it just like...
Yeah, you're like, I'm right back there. But anyway, a team of 7 workers in Yang Village were digging a well in their communal farm. While digging, one of the farmers struck something about 15 meters down. At first, they saw the top of a head, and as they dug further, the whole head emerged. Thinking he had found a bronze relic and could sell it, he broke it off with a hammer. But when he brought it to the village, the villagers were afraid to touch it because they thought it was a temple statue. As word spread, officials and archaeologists poured into the village and began to excavate the tomb. Over the next few years, the land was claimed by the state. The farmers' homes were demolished to make way for exhibition halls and gift shops.
Well, they should have known that was coming.
Yeah. Among the 7 workers who discovered the Terracotta Army, the one that broke the head off, he hung himself. Yang Wenhai and Yang Zwin died jobless and penniless. The destruction of the village, the misery of the villagers, and the death of the 3 workers gave birth to the notion that the terracotta army is cursed. So, I don't think that one is cursed so much as it's China. And no, because in China, like they can make you fucking move. The super dam that they're building over there, like they don't care. Like, you gotta fucking move. We're China. You have no rights. You gotta go. Of course, then there's the Egyptians who wrote curses on their tombs. When King Tut... What?
Now you have to live longer than me.
Why?
Because I want you to write a curse.
Oh, to put on your tombstone?
On my urn.
On your urn? Oh, yeah, because you're not going to be buried.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
They wrote them on their tombs.
She's ignoring me, guys.
When King Tut's tomb was found, journalists reported that the following inscription was near the door. Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king. In fact, there were several mysterious deaths surrounding the opening of the tomb. The first and most publicized death was that of the Egyptologist Lord Caravan. He and Howard Carter were the ones to open Tut's tomb. He died a few months after the discovery from an infected mosquito bite on his cheek. The death had an eerie tie to Tut. When an autopsy was performed on the pharaoh's body, a similar lesion was found on the pharaoh's cheek. Also, when he died, all of the lights in his house were rumored to have suddenly blacked out with no explanation. Fucker forgot to pay.
He didn't pay his power bill.
I was going to say, fucker forgot to pay the bill. And he wasn't the only one to fall victim to Tut's curse. Howard Carter gave his friend Sir Bruce Ingham a paperweight made of a mummified hand.
What the fuck?
Yeah, with a bracelet with the following inscription. Cursed be he who moves my body. To him shall come fire, water, and pestilence. Now, of course, you got to think, like, back then, it was a big thing, to have pieces of mummies in your home. Like, if you were rich, that was normal. There was a whole trade in it. Anyway. So, after he received the gift of the mummified hand, his house burned down. And then, once he had finally rebuilt it, it was hit by a flood. So, fire and flood, befell him.
What was the pestilence like?
They didn't say which...
STD?
Probably. George J. Gould, Audrey Herbert, Hugh Evelyn White, Aaron Ember, and Archibald Douglas Reed are also said to be victims of the curse. Like the first guy, they all died shortly after coming into contact with Tut's mummy or artifacts within his tomb. Mm-hmm. And then... in 1972, King Tut's curse seemingly returned with a vengeance. Mm-hmm. Some of the artifacts from his tomb were sent to the British Museum to, commemorate the 50th anniversary of the tomb's discovery. Dr. Gemal Merez, the director of antiquities at the museum in Cairo, died the night after he handled the artifacts that were sent to England. But the curse doesn't stop there. Many of the airmen who were aboard the aircraft that was carrying the artifacts to England fell victim as well. 3 of the men on the aircraft suffered from heart attacks after coming into contact with them. One of the men had a heart attack at the same time every year. The same day he flew aboard the plane with King Tut's relics until one of the attacks killed him.
I'm not laughing about people being cursed. I'm laughing at her deficiencies today.
I can't help it that I don't know how to pronounce people's names.
It's just funny watching you do it.
I'm just saying them now. I'm like, she's gonna laugh. I'm gonna butcher them. I'm just gonna get through them as quick as I can. So those are some examples of things that we know of, collectively.
I want to get my hands on a curse like that.
That are said to be cursed. So, actually, there's also some historical curses by witches that have been written down. During the witchcraft trials in Europe and Britain, witches were often accused of cursing victims and of causing blight, misfortune, illness, and even death. In 1612 to 1613, about 20 persons were suspected of witchcraft in the Pendle Forest area of England. 11 were tried. 60-year-old Anne Whittle,
I've heard that name,
known as Old Chattox, Chattox, confessed to having a pact with the devil and to practicing, bad magic. When a farmer when a farmer ordered her off his land, she urinated on it and said that the land was now cursed and that the cattle would never be able to graze there. For centuries, cattle died and could not thrive there. In the 50s, in 1950s, a poisonous weed was found that was believed to be the cause of all that cattle's death. But it was notable that weed seemed to only grow in that area, and it wasn't on any of the surrounding land or farms. So, in numerous other witch trials, witches were accused of cursing people by sticking pins into poppets and casting various spells. So, we're talking about, cursing objects. We're talking about witches, doing curses. But what happens when witches curse witches? You get a curse off.
That made me think of Asen.
Yeah.
That sounds like one of his, it's not an actual war story, but I call him a war story.
Yeah,
He used to tell us all these funny stories from back in his days coming up through.
Oh, yeah, when he's into different traditions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the stories he told me about.
Well, in some Western magical traditions, cursing is done frequently among occultists and is not considered to be immoral. Arguments and disputes can result in cursing warfare. Famous cursing battles took place among the members of the, Jesus.
Hey, I won't be any help.
I'm going to skip that word. The Order of the Golden Dawn, involving the sending of vampiric entities.
What?
Yeah. Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers and Aleister Crowley engaged in such mutual attacks against each other. And then the magician William Gray was also known to send powerful curses against some of his students. So... those are kind of names from when all this was starting,
Yeah,
So back then it was cool.
I think everybody's heard of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. Cursing is still done in magical lodges and circles in modern times, though practitioners are often secretive about it due to the beliefs by younger generations that cursing is immoral and will backfire on the sender.
What's a magical lodge?
You know what? If we win the lottery and I get to buy that place that I want, that barn that you were like, ooh, look at the barn, that's going to become our magic lodge.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm going to fix it to where like there'll be a vent in the roof and we can have a big fire pit in there. And we'll get some real soft sand and like you leave your shoes at the door.
But we will have air conditioning.
Well, yeah.
We choose not to sweat.
Yeah, if we can help it. Air it extra dry, sprayed in all the crevices and cracks.
It works.
Yeah, anyway. In Wicca and paganism and many modern magical traditions, there's a belief that magic of any sort will return to sender. Any sort will return to sender, sometimes threefold. And, I'm not going to go over that again. We've kind of beaten that one to death. We don't believe in that. We've not ever experienced it. But it's important to note that the moralistic view against cursing is not found in most magical and sorcery practices outside of modern Western traditions.
Really?
Yeah. So how do you know if you've been cursed?
I don't know. You have mucus running out of your asshole? I don't know.
You may find that your life has become unbearable. There's always going to be something seriously wrong, going on in your life or to you. Sudden, unexplainable sicknesses that won't go away, nightmares, basically anything that's causing chaos in your life and is relentless and harms you physically or mentally, is a sign that you've been cursed. So now you want to break it. You want to break a curse. You want to pop a cap in its ass, make it go away. Let them get all thug life on it.
Sure.
During a new moon, now, if you can't wait till a new moon, they say that you can use any Tuesday, or not Tuesday.
Wait.
Not Tuesday, Thursday.
Are you kidding?
No, it says during a new moon, but if you can't wait till a new moon, use any Thursday if you can't.
Is it because of the astrological correspondence?
Yes.
Okay.
At dawn, dusk, noon, or midnight. Okay. Draw yourself a bath.
What is it with bathing and witches? I'm not saying don't bathe, but I was like, why does everything involve a bath?
Take a shower. Get a cup or two of salt ready and,
Here we go.
And say this prayer. In the names of my ancestors, my gods, and myself, I call upon thee, O creatures of earth and water. Come forth. Cleanse me of all evil and alien magics and restore me to balance and health. By our wills combined, so mote it be. Now, if you think you have an object that's cursed, you would say an object that has been cursed. You would, say cleanse, this ring of all evil and alien magics. Make it whatever,
What about just saging it?
You could do that as well. Pour the salt into the bath. Get into the bath and relax for at least 10 minutes. You should be, and if you're doing this to an object, you would just let it soak in the water for 10 minutes. You should be calming yourself and making sure you are completely submerged in the salt water at least one point.
What
so
if
you
your
want to
face is what's cursed?
Well, that's why I said you want to make sure that you're completely submerged. So they're saying put your whole head and everything under.
For 10 minutes.
Well, no, just at one point, everything needs to be under. You hold your breath as long as you can and then come up. When you're ready to get out, wash every single inch of your body so you are sure all the salt water has washed away. And when you're done, you're going to say this prayer. I thank thee, O creatures of earth and water, in the name of myself, my gods, and my ancestors. Be released to your homes, bring no harm on your way, and return to me with glad hearts when you next are summoned. By our wills combined, so mote it be.
I would say so mote it be, but I don't even know what the fuck you just said.
Yeah. Basically, you're like, you take the bath to rinse all that off. And then when you release them, you're saying, thank you for coming and helping me get rid of all this nasty stuff.
Now go home.
Go home in peace. Like, don't hold on to the anger or whatever that you just removed from me. So that when you come back again, you're going to be in good spirits.
Why not just say, this isn't mine, go back to your source?
Yeah, return to sender.
Yeah.
There are various ways to break a curse.
Yeah.
There are various ways. In this one, you use an object to represent the curse, incense to clear it, and an incantation to deflect it, and then you allow natural forces to do their work. So for this one, you're going to need a sachet containing equal parts of St. John's wort, lavender, rose, bay, verbena, a cleansing incense such as dragon's blood, a black candle to represent the negativity, a white candle for positivity, lemon, a bowl of water, a bowl of salt, your athame, a glass or china plate. And I had to tear these off.
Why does it have to be glass or china? What if you're broke?
I guess you could use plastic. You're going to light the incense and the candles, black on the left, white on the right. Pass the sachet through the incense smoke and put it on the side. Hold the lemon in both hands and allow the lemon to signify the negativity. Think of all the negative things that have happened and push them into the lemon, particularly if you suspect they are associated with the curse. So anything negative. So you would hold a lemon and you would think about all the negative stuff that you're having that you think is related to you being cursed. You're going to dip your knife or athame in the water and then slice the lemon into 3 pieces. Touch each piece of the lemon with the tip of the athame, and as you do this, you're going to say, 3 times 3, now set me free. Okay, you're going to, each one. You're going to visualize the lemon drawing the negativity away from you and into itself. And as you do that, you're going to say, as sour as this lemon be, charged and cut in pieces 3. With salt and water I am free, uncross me now, I will it be. Lemon sour, charged now with power. Let this lemon do its task. Its cleaning power I do ask. As this lemon dries in air, free me from my dark despair. Uncross, uncross, I break this curse, but let not my simple spell reverse. I wish no ill, nor wish him pain. I wish only to be free again. And I'm assuming when you read that, you would say again to make it rhyme with pain. Take each lemon slice and dip it in the salt, making sure that it's well coated. Okay, you want to like really coat it with the salt. And then set the slices on your dish. And you'll say, as it is my will, so mote it be. You're going to leave the lemon pieces on the altar where they can dry. Once the spell is complete and the lemon can be thrown away or buried. But if your fruit rots instead of just dries, because the salt should dry it, if you coat it well enough. If instead the fruit rots, then you need to repeat this whole thing because it didn't work. While waiting for the fruit to dry, keep the sachet with you at all times. It will help protect you from the effects of the spell and turn away any negative energy that's sent in your direction while it's finishing up. So, yeah, that's kind of lengthy. But, some people like that. They like the theatricalness of it. At least you wasn't bathing.
Why not just carry a piece of black obsidian in your pocket?
That'll work. That's what I said. There's many ways of doing it. It's just I figure our listeners would like to hear a couple actual spells that they could do. So how to protect yourself from curses. And it's talking about banishment. So once you've identified, this is what you do, those are what you do when you've been cursed, how to get rid of it. Now we're going to protect ourselves. Once you've identified whether you've been cursed and gotten rid of any curse that's been put on you, it's good to know what proactive steps you can take to avoid being cursed again in the future. And I had to put this in here just because I know your reaction. Be nice to others.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Treat people fairly and with respect. Don't make yourself a person that people are dying to curse. Because you had said that in one of the other podcasts. You were like, just don't be a jackass. Don't be a dick waffle. Just be a nice person,
Yeah.
You also
don't lie out of your lying liar hole.
Yeah. Just try to be a decent human being. Consider casting routine protection spells, not only to protect yourself from curses, but from general evil and, the bad forces that are out there in the world. So, yeah. You could also, like you said, carry different stones and things like that.
Or, nope, I'm not going to say it.
No, you need to say it. Say it.
I don't want to ruin the entire podcast.
You won't. Say it.
Well,
say it.
If you look at everything from an energy standpoint, which is what everything is any fucking way.
Yep, everything is energy.
If you keep your thoughts and your vibrations at a high enough vibrational level, no matter
that.
what the fuck anybody sends at you, it'll be repelled anyway.
Yeah.
Because anything negative is low vibrational.
Yep.
And it's repelled by high vibrational shit, which should be you.
Yeah. And I was going to say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, another way is just keep your vibrations high.
Yeah.
I read somewhere on one of the things too, I didn't put it in the report, but that even just, doing some basic maintenance on your chakras.
Yeah.
Can keep, you from being cursed.
Chakras,
and things like
you
that.
say?
Chakra! Chakra! Chakra!
We haven't done that today.
So, so this kind of leads us into, this is something that we just kind of decided we wanted to talk about and throw one at the end of the podcast.
Oh, what is it?
And that's when you're turning to others to break your curses. Because you need to be very careful. There are some scammers out there.
Yes.
We know of someone that kind of let us know of a situation where they had found a quote unquote witch.
I think it was for getting a psychic reading.
Yeah, well, and that's I think that's what it started off as, was just to get a psychic reading.
And in the reading, they lied to her.
It evolved,
yeah,
into this whole thing.
Okay.
So, if you want to go find this person on Instagram and blast them for being a horrible, terrible fucking person.
Actually, we would like for you to find them on Instagram and
blast them and I tried when I first learned this happened, I actually reached out to them and pretended to need their services to see, you know, if I could get them to treat me the same way that they treated this other person. And it's not because I don't believe what this other person said. It's just I always like to confirm things for myself. This actually come up in another thing that we had the other day. Like I'm real big on like I'm going to find out, you know, information on my own. But she's credible, so I completely believe that this happened. But on Instagram, you want to look up Love Spell Master. And on Facebook, it's under Psychic Ashley Madison. It's the same person. That's just the two different accounts that they have. So it started off, like you said, as a psychic reading. And I don't know, we don't know the exact details, and I don't want to go in too much detail because it's, you know, something that happened very personal. But I guess at some point, like a spell was offered.
They told her they started demanding a bunch of money.
Well, because she did send by PayPal, she sent $370.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What are our readings for two of us together? What is it like?
Well, if off of our website, it's $50.
Yeah. And that's for a double reading.
That's for a double reading from two master tarotists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a single reading's what, 30?
Yeah.
I don't
well,
remember.
it's 20. It's 25 for a single, and then 50 for the double because it's
Gotcha.
Doubled.
Yeah,
you know.
gotcha.
Now, when we're at events, you get a cheaper rate at events because we're seeing a lot more people.
Yeah.
And we can make money.
So if anybody's charging you,
yeah,
an exorbitant amount, be aware.
Yeah.
Be aware.
And I'm not 100% sure on this. I know that it was $370 through PayPal. I don't know if that was all at once or if it was like, because what they did, there's a scam where they say, you know, we've done part of this spell. We're going to need more money to do the next part.
Yeah.
And the next part and the next part. So I don't know if she sent just total through the whole process, she sent $370, or if, you know, it was, you know, I don't know how that happened, but she did. So they used that step method to get more and more money, saying, you know, one more thing needs to be done, or it's going to, you know, or they'll say, oh, this is harder than we thought it was going to be. And each of those steps will cost you more and more money. Now, when I look these people up, first of all, the number, because there was two different phone numbers. Okay. One phone number was very clearly a foreign phone number.
Yeah.
The other phone number registered to a Sprint cell phone in Washington State.
Yeah.
I texted the one in Washington State because I don't know what our carrier, like our fees are with our cell phone. And I'm waiting to hear back. And then I also messaged on Facebook. But when you went and looked on Facebook and the location was in Africa.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really use Instagram, so I didn't really get too much into trying to see if I could figure out, you know, if Instagram tells you where you're from or whatever. But, you know, because you know me, I'm real big on like digging through a profile and, you know, trying to determine. And it's like there was only three or four photos total on the whole Facebook thing. That's it. And one of them, so they're from Africa, but then two of the photos was of some little Indian, you know, like from India woman. Mm-hmm. So if they're from Africa, but there's someone who is very clearly wearing Indian, like what's it called, like a sari or whatever?
I'm not sure.
Indian attire. You know, start questioning things, okay? And then it's like there was only one person that commented on all of their stuff, and every single comment was the same story of how that person saved their marriage. So I clicked on that person's profile to go look at that person, and lo and behold, it's someone from Africa.
Yeah.
And you go and look on their website or on their Facebook page, and it was like all of these other psychic groups, like, I mean, all these different types of psychics was just all on that page. And it was, that person was saying the same thing on each one of those. So it was very clear, you know, that, you know, those two accounts are probably the same person, mm-hmm. signing in one out of the other, or they've got something going on together. So, you know, it's just, those are all, for me, those are all red flags. You know, it's like, and I tell people, when you're looking at online and those psychics and stuff online and you're thinking, is this a scam? Is this not a scam? Look at it as if you got a friend request from some man telling you you're beautiful. You know, and because we're a lot more, we do a lot more research when we get those. Like, we click on the man, like, okay, wait a minute, you're from Texas, but your name, is clearly like Zimbabwe. Like, I don't know, so those, for me, those were all red flags.
Well, and they scared this person.
They did. They
told
did.
Her she was cursed, and
said that they had been up all night working to try to remove the curse, and it was hard, and they couldn't do it, and they had to send one of their coven members, whatever, to drive 50 miles somewhere to go buy these 2 plates that cost $500 a piece. Mm-hmm. So now they have spent $1,000 on their credit card, and this poor woman needed to send them the money to get that off of their credit card. That they had done that for her good. So they wanted $1,000, sent by MoneyGram, to cover that. So, when all was said and done, what they were saying they were going to do for her to finish this working that they were working on for her was going to cost her $1,700. Luckily, she stopped. She stopped at the $370. She reached out to someone that, would know what was going on. They
also told her not to tell any other witches about it.
They did. And, they told her not to discuss it with anyone, but especially witches. And that's because any witch worth the salt that they break their curses with would be like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. You and I, we do have curse kits that we sell.
Yeah.
But there's a set price for it. You get it, you do the work.
They're really simple. It's not, I don't know what they're talking about buying plates and shit.
I don't either. Especially a $500 plate. Like, I don't get, like, what kind of buffet is that?
Right.
And even, like, let's say we had someone contact us and like, hey, we're really interested in your curse. This one curse kit you have, but we don't want to work it ourselves.
I'd say sorry.
Yeah. We would be like, this is what you need to do. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong for people to work curses for other people. That's fine. But, like, let's say we were willing to do that. We would say, okay, it's still the same price. And we'll work it for you. But you need to realize you may not see any results from it.
Yeah.
Because we have nothing invested in this.
Yeah. We're
going to take your money and we'll work the spell. But it's going to be the same amount as if they had bought the kit themselves.
Yeah.
You really need to watch out. It's common for these people to threaten curses when they don't get their money. They scare the person into sending more and more money. So it's like a cautionary tale. You really need to be, and I think we've even touched on this a little bit in other podcasts about psychics in general. Mm-hmm. If you have a psychic that's always telling you everything you want to hear and always telling you that your life is going to be exactly the way you want it to be, you need to be a little suspicious about that psychic. Like, they're just trying to get your money. They're not, I can't tell you how many times that, as soon as I read the cards, I know I'm going to be hung up on.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I see what they say and I report it, like, and they could have 30 minutes. Like, they could have 30 minutes of chat available that I could make money off of. And I know that as soon as I say, he's not coming back, that they're going to hang up and I'm not going to get any money. Now, I could pull that, I could draw that out, I could, whatever, but that's not ethical.
Yeah.
It's not ethical. You have actually had people that would contact you and you've told them, you need to stop calling psychics.
Yeah.
This is ruining your life. You need to stop. Anyone, if you have a psychic that's saying, like, listen, dude, stop. You need to stop.
I told him, I said, you have an addiction.
Yeah.
You've gotten to where you can't make any decisions on your own.
Yeah. So, there's, for as much as we say that we don't believe in the law of three, we do have ethical thoughts on how magic and all this stuff should be worked. You can curse somebody and still be a decent person, but you got these love and light people out there that refuse to curse because of law of three, but they have no problem stringing somebody along on the psychic network because they're going to make money doing that.
That's right.
I look at us as the lesser of the evils here, so we did want to talk about that at the end of the podcast, and that there are people, and in her situation, they were taking advantage of the bad situation that she was in. But you also have people that, like, you may contact, these people straight off, like, hey, I want to curse. And they, could take you for everything that you have, I've heard of situations where they, someone will do a curse for someone, and, you would have to give them very personal information about the person that you're wanting to curse. So then they turn around and say, well, I'm going to let them know that you cursed them. Mm-hmm. If you don't pay me A, B, C, and D. If you're not comfortable enough doing your own magic, and you even have the thought that you should hire someone else to do it or pay someone else to do it, you shouldn't be doing it at all. You shouldn't ask someone else to do it, nothing. Like I said, her situation was not that she called for a psychic reading, and they took advantage of her pain and her agony over the situation in her life.
Yeah.
And that's just the lowest that you can get. So if you want to look them up on Instagram and Facebook and tell them how horrible they are, and that if you want to curse them.
I hope Gwendolyn looks them up, because I know she wouldn't play with something like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good thing, in this community, it's a good thing for us to be aware of, this kind of stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, it's Love Spell Master. And on Facebook, it's Psychic Ashley Madison. Now, it's so funny because on the Facebook one, the Psychic Ashley Madison, there's a picture of a woman reading cards, which makes you think that's Ashley.
Yeah.
But if you look in the corner of that photo, it's watermarked with someone else's name. So, that's not her. Like, this could be some guy in Africa on his cell phone pretending to be, Ashley Madison.
Well, isn't that a cheating website?
I think it is, yeah. Yeah. Psychic Ashley Madison. And then the cheating website's just Ashley Madison. That's the website they found old Duggar on. What's his name? I hate the Duggars. I hate them with a passion.
Why?
Well, it's like, fine, your religious beliefs, you're going to live your life this certain way and continue producing babies that keep having more problems and more problems every time you have another child. Whatever, fine.
Wait, did you just say they keep producing more problems every time they have a child?
They do. You can look at their children. And the older that she got, her children started having problems, like behavioral problems, mental problems, learning disabilities. Like, one of them died. It's like, it's time. Your body is telling you it's time to stop. But because God says you're supposed to have babies until you die, and your husband Jim Bob,
I don't know where it says that.
Well, according to their religion, you're not supposed to do anything to stop a pregnancy. It doesn't matter. But anyway, but what that gets me, because I have family members, I have nieces and nephews and that have developmental delays and things like that they have to deal with every day. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle for them. It's a struggle for their families. You have to be a strong person, to have a child with those issues. So that's an issue for me right there. But to knowingly keep doing that's an issue. But she don't even fucking take care of her own kids.
Her older kids do.
Yeah, if once you reach a certain age in their family, you are assigned a child that you're now responsible for. And it's like, you're the one that decided to have all these fucking babies. You need to, instead of being out on your book tours and going around.
They have book tours?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, they go on tours. That was the whole thing with her son that molested her daughters. He was the head of this big family religious organization. Like, he was the public face of it. And they would go to different churches and stuff, and they would spread their gospel and talking about everything. And he is molesting his sisters and cheating on his wife.
On Ashley Madison.
I can't stand the Duggars. I can't, own your shit. Don't pretend to be something you're not, And the fact that they thought, like, because he molested his sisters and then some family friends as well. And they kept it quiet. They hushed it up, sent him away to Jesus boot camp or whatever so that he would realize what he did was wrong.
I've been to Jesus camp.
Not this kind of Jesus camp you haven't. This is for I've molested children. It's probably the same one they send all the Catholic priests to.
I was just going to say that.
I have a problem with when, people that are really religious molesting children. I have a problem with molesting children, period. But it's like, when you have like pastors and priests and like the Duggar situation, it's like you're holding yourself up to this standard, and all the while you're a dirty bastard.
Maybe Jim Bob's really good in bed.
I think he likes to have sex a lot, and it's again one of those things. They're not supposed to have sex for pleasure; it's for procreation, and that's why Michelle keeps having baby after baby after baby, because he's like, I want to have sex again.
I don't know what religion they are.
I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's like their own form of some Christian.
I don't think so.
I think it is. I think they made it up. I think it's like the
what? No!
I think it's the Duggars R Us. They don't have a church. The other people who believe what they believe, they go to each other's houses like we do. Like pagans do. A lot of
Mormons do that.
Yeah.
But they're not Mormon.
No, they're not Mormon. I don't know. I have a problem with the Duggars.
They don't bother me.
I get worked up with the Duggars. Like, there's a lot of reasons why I get worked up with the Duggars.
They just, I don't know. I feel sorry for her vagina, but I mean.
And then they're like, oh, it's wrong to be vain. And then you got fucking Jim Bob in front of the mirror using half a can of Aquanet to keep his hair in place.
Clearly you've watched a lot more of the Duggars than I have.
My mom loves the Duggars. Like, we would watch, when they were just the Duggars, before they were like, you know what, we can't keep saying how many children you have, so we're just going to say and counting, because you keep adding to it.
I think you're just mad because you had to watch so much of it.
Oh, I hated them.
Well, it's like, I love Sister Wives.
Oh, I can't stand Sister Wives.
I can't get enough of that show.
I can't stand it.
And every time I tell her I'm watching Sister Wives, she's like, I'm getting off the phone.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Like, why the fuck are you watching that?
I like it.
I just think he's a dirty bastard.
I don't know. I like it.
I don't like him. Now, I would love to see a show with the reverse, where a woman has multiple husbands. I would love to watch that.
I love Sister Wives.
Yeah. No, I did watch Big Love. The show Big Love.
Fiction.
I know. That's why it was okay. It's okay because it is fiction. This guy, what's his name? Cody, whatever. Cody, he's just a dirty dog.
Have you ever watched it?
Yeah.
How much?
Not a lot, because I can't stand it. He thinks he rules everything. I know he doesn't, but he thinks...
Those women boss him around.
Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't share.
I have a crush on Cody.
I couldn't... What? You do?
No, you...
You know. No. I don't even think he's good looking.
You stopped so quick. Wait, what?
What? No, he's just... I don't know. I think what it is I couldn't share. I couldn't... I have to be first fiddle.
Okay. You know how you and I have had the conversation very many times that most people are okay with a lot of things that I'm not okay with?
Yeah.
So just because you're not okay with that doesn't mean that his wives aren't. They chose to go into it.
I just don't like him. I don't like...
You don't know him.
I don't like him at all.
You don't know him.
It doesn't matter. I don't like them. But I would be okay with having more than one husband.
Double standard.
Double standard. Call it sexist if you want. I don't care. Like,
I'll call it a double standard.
Because there's not, because I'm even thinking back to boyfriends that I've had. And, if I could have just, the one boyfriend that was really awesome and, super attentive and everything, great. I'll date him for that. But for the sexual stuff, I would need the other one.
Now, what if a man was saying that about you and some other chick you used to date?
Well, if they choose to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to be in a relationship where there's more than one woman.
No, but wouldn't it make you bad, though?
Well, it would, yeah.
So it's a double standard!
Well, I never said it wasn't. I never said it wasn't a double standard.
Coming from me, Miss Man-Hater herself,
yeah,
for me to say it's double standard, it's a pretty big fucking double standard.
Well, and I never said it wasn't. I'm not saying that I'm right or anything. I'm just saying that's how I feel. So
I love watching Sister Wives.
Yeah.
You and my daughter can't talk me out of it.
No, well, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying I don't want to watch it with you.
Every time I tell you guys I'm watching Sister Wives, both of you all have something to say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still going to watch it.
That's so funny.
I like it.
I think that's the end of the podcast.
You like watching murder shows.
I do. I want to know how to hide a body.
And you're suspicious of everyone.
Yeah.
Because you watch too much murder television.
I do. I really would like to go tour the body farm.
No!
I would love to see that.
No.
I would have to put some Vicks salve under my nose. Because even with my fucked up sense of smell, I think I could probably smell a dead body.
I've seen too many dead bodies.
Well, maybe that's what it is. I've only ever seen one dead body in my life.
I'll wait in the car.
Okay. I like how you're still going to go with me.
You should try to pick one up. Those bitches are heavy.
Well, I'm not going to touch them. I just want to look.
One time, there was a dead body. It was a dude.
Yeah.
And we're there to get the body and everything. And his wife comes. Okay, this guy, the way he had died, his tongue fell out of the side of his mouth when he died. Well, it stayed outside of his mouth and was stuck to his cheek. The fucker was dead. He was stiff. And I remember his wife comes running in the bedroom where we were, getting ready to put him in the body bag. And she starts kissing him on that dried tongue that was stuck to his face.
No.
My first dead body ever, and that's what happened.
Oh.
It was pretty fucking nasty.
Yeah. Why couldn't she kiss the other cheek?
That's what I wanted to know.
Anyway. So yeah, cursing it is the worst of the three that we have discussed about in this series. It is the one that, is typically a little more involved. You don't have to do a big production, but the more effort you put into it, the more result you're going to get. It needs to be personal to you. That's why hiring people to do it isn't necessarily going to, work.
She's fake sneezing,
Yeah, because she wants attention. You can curse a person, an object, a place.
A vagina.
You can curse generations of families. I don't know why you'd want to curse a vagina.
Think.
Well, I mean, I know that, but of all the things that you could do, just... Actually, we did curse her vagina. She ended up having all kinds of medical issues in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the information. Beware people out there that are going to want to scam you when it comes to cursing and everything. If it seems too good to be true, don't do it. If you're like, that's a lot of fucking money, don't do it. And all of these big complicated things, I think that the most complicated we've ever done with the one curse was you bought a doll.
Yeah, it was on clearance.
It was on clearance.
It's like, what,
we went and found the cheapest doll that they had.
Yeah, because I didn't want to take the time to make one.
Yeah. So, you could even, I've seen people take 2 pieces of printer paper and draw what looks like a gingerbread man kind of outline, stuff it with some cotton, staple it together, and use that. It doesn't have to be a big production that, you would see in Hollywood or whatever.
And if somebody's that desperate for a reading and they really don't have the money, Yeah. They're honestly, if you're following the right groups and the right people on Instagram and Facebook, there is forever somebody saying, hey, I'm practicing. Yeah. Or I'm wanting to A, B, C, or D. I'm the first however many people that comment or whatever, I'll give you a 2-card reading or something. Yeah. I mean, you can always find a way to get help. James Van Praagh, who is a world-famous medium, has a weekly radio show where you can dial in and get free mediumship readings.
Well, Asen has the Psychic Coffee Shop on Blog Talk Radio, and they do readings as well. So you could call there and get a free reading. Like, it's out there. Like, even some of these Facebook groups, you can just put in there, like, you don't want to be a nuisance with it. Yeah. Like, you don't want to be the person that's always asking for a free reading. But you can say, hey, like, I've got something going on in my life. Would anyone, could anyone please do just a quick reading for me?
Like, I follow 2 really good mediums on Facebook that are constantly going live almost every day doing live readings for people. So anyway,
we're going to wrap it up.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, you can go to you can go to our website featherandbone.net. There you'll find.
You left me outside. Why?
What time is it? Oh!
My phone says it's 3:08.
You left me outside. How dare you?
Your stepdad was supposed to get you,
but he wasn't there.
She had to walk from the bus stop.
Are you damaged?
Yes.
You can go to featherandbone.net and find links to the podcast, our Facebook page, our lessons, and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah.
It's not funny.
Remember, it's magic, motherfuckers.